My mom threw a glass cup at my brother's face, and when he ran away from home, instead of being concerned about his well-being, my parents were more concerned about where the car was. This event happened when I was in 7th grade and my brother was a senior, so about 2010. I was in my room when all of a sudden I heard a bunch of screaming. It was my mom versus my brother. Common. If it wasn't her versus him, it'd be my dad or me. So he was the victim that night. I'm a little sneak and I like to listen in on things that I shouldn't stick my nose in. So I leave my room and I go into the kitchen and I'm hiding in there listening to the fight. I forget what it was about. I think my brother wanted to go to a friend's house and my mom didn't want him to. A normal fight to have with your kid. However, the way my mother handled it was far from normal, and you'll come to realize that that's usually the case on this channel. Something normal happens that you can expect when you have kids. My mom goes off like a bomb. Now, it's important to note that in our kitchen, we have a hallway that leads into the living room. I was standing at the end of that hallway, so I had a clear view of my brother who was standing in the living room, and my mom was on the other side where I couldn't see her, obviously. But this gave me a front row seat to see the glass cup hit his face. To this day, I cannot remember what my mom said to my brother that made her pick up the glass that had her water in it and chuck it across the room at his face. But I imagine it kind of went like, "I'm sick of this." And then, of course, he didn't actually fall over or anything. I'm exaggerating that part, but he was really shocked. And I'm pretty sure he said some expletives. But after that point, my brother was done with the conversation because my mom had escalated it to a completely different level. And my brother did not feel like climbing those stairs, so he left. How does one mother have so much pent-up frustration that she would chuck glass at her child? I don't know. Bro was 17. Just wanted to go to his friends. Calm down. My brother looks at my dad and says, "Can I leave?" And my dad says, "Yeah, just get out of here." So my brother takes his car keys and he leaves. And this is a classic thing my dad does, telling us, "Hey, yeah, it's okay to leave," and then calling the cops when you don't come back. That happened to me once. He looked at me and said, "Yeah, get out." So I did. And when I didn't come home, he reported me as a runaway. Now, that's not what happened with my brother, but I would argue that it's crazier because my mom ends up at the school throwing a fit. We'll get there though. Let me backtrack. So my brother has left the building and my mom is still in a rage fit, but starting to come down. This is all on a Friday night. Fast forward to Sunday night, my brother still hasn't come home, so my parents decided to go out looking for him. I decided to go with them because I like a little road trip. They spent 3 hours going up and down all the streets within a 10-mile radius of our city. They checked every friend house and they couldn't find his car. Here's the thing though. My brother's smart, and he knew that they would probably check all of his friends' houses. So when he went to his friend Austin's to hide out there for the weekend, he parked his car behind their house. So when my parents drove by searching, they wouldn't be able to see it. A trick I used when my mom was trying to stalk me in college. After hours of searching though, and they didn't find him, they were getting more and more mad. And they wanted to call the police on him, but the only reason they didn't is they didn't want to ruin his life. Where was that sentiment when it was me? I don't know, but they didn't call the police. My mom said, "We'll just wait till Monday. He better go to school, and then I'm gonna go up there and get those keys from him," which is exactly what happened on Monday, and she brought me, so I got to witness the whole thing. Oh, lucky little Jess. Can't think of anything more exciting than that. Front row seats to the Linda show, or maybe Era's tour tickets. I got Linda. I don't know about you, but I got Linda, and it was free. The tickets were free. So she drags me into the office. The office lady is named Diana. We're all scared of Diana. Diana's an angry lady who hates children, but for some reason chose a job where she's around them all the time. But not even Diana can survive a Linda tornado. She was not expecting the storm that just blew in. Neither was anyone else behind that office counter, and neither were the students sitting in chairs waiting to talk to whoever they needed to. One of the high schoolers that was sitting in one of the office chairs waiting to be helped, I recognized him. He was a cross-country runner on the same team as me, but just he ran for the high school and I was still in middle school. Before he realized what he was about to witness, he actually smiled and waved at me, and I smiled and waved back. All smiles drop though the moment my mom gets to the counter. "Calm my son down. I need you to calm my son down right now." And Diana's like, oh, okay. Is something wrong? "No, but it will be if he doesn't come down here." Diana's fingers are going and she's typing in my brother's name and all that. And she's like, "Well, it says here that he showed up for class. He's not marked as absent." And my mom goes, "Good. Call him down." Just like that. Gives me chills still. And Diana's just like, okay. Well, what's the numbers? We'll call him. It's okay. Then we're all just waiting. My mom's just tapping her foot. She's got her arms crossed like this. She's tapping her foot. Her jaw is going. She's just telling all our business about the whole weekend, conveniently leaving out the part about the cup and everything. You know, of course she's not gonna tell that. I'm just standing there like, why did my mom bring me to this? Why am I here? And why is one of my teammates about to witness it? This is awful. I'm like, I have to go to this school in 2 years, and all of these people are gonna remember this. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Surprisingly though, my brother comes to the office. I would not have come to the office. I would have went to the bathroom and then just went back to the class. Or I would have just walked right out, got in the car, and left. My brother came to the office, and he walked in like he knew exactly who it was going to be, like his decision was already made. Well, hello. My mom said one sentence to him. Give me your keys. And my brother pulled them out of his pocket, and you know what he did? He chucked them at her face. Okay, well, they hit her in the chest, but I'd like to think that he wanted to aim at her face. He just chose not to because we were in public. The keys hit her chest, fall to the floor. It's dead silent in the office. They stare at each other for a second. My brother's face is like, it was emotionless, yet full of emotion. That is the face of a child realizing what his mother is and that she is no longer important to his life. It's like the umbilical cord was cut all over again. He no longer had any empathy for her in that moment. He was just done with her. They look at each other like that for what felt like forever, and then my brother turns, walks out, and goes back to class. It's silent for more unbearable seconds until Diana luckily runs her mouth. The only time I'm grateful she just opened her mouth and said something. She goes, "Do you need me to call anyone? What can I do? Is everything okay?" That kind of reaction. And my mom's like, "Oh no, everything's fine. I got what I wanted. Come on, Jess." I'm still kind of shook from the whole situation, and I just follow her like a lost puppy dog, because what else am I to do? She's going to take me to school, and I just have to go to school now and focus on my classes and just forget that all happened. However, there's one more thing I need to note. Remember that teammate that saw all of that happen? This was his face the whole time. Dude, I get it. If you're watching this, dude, I'm so sorry that you had to see that. But that's the face I would be making too if I just saw some family drama play out at school. Bro probably just had to sign something because he was late that day, and instead he got a whole SNL skit live. Bro probably thought he was on the set of What Would You Do, and that John Quinones was about to walk out and be like, "Hey, why did you just sit there?" Totally the vibes in the office that morning, except no John walked out with a funny line. It was real. My mom ended up taking me to school. My brother eventually came home because he didn't have a car anymore, and I imagine his friend's parents were like not wanting him to stay there throughout the week, because that's what happened to me when I ran away. Everyone wants to help you at first, but then they're like, well, do we really want another kid sleeping here in our basement? Probably not. When you're a kid in crisis, you realize just how selfish adults are, and that was something I noticed as a kid a lot. And the adults that did help me were threatened, you know? They could get in trouble for aiding a runaway. If I had to guess, the main reason my brother came home was probably because they were threatening to call 911 and report him, and he didn't want to deal with it, which is basically what happened with me, except they did call, and it was a mess. And I will tell that story if you want me to, about my dad telling me to leave and then calling the cops on me for leaving. They thought that I wouldn't find a place to stay. I literally found a permanent place that I could stay and save money and until I could get a place of my own. I had it all figured out. I was only 4 months from being 18, so I had a plan. I was only 4 months from being 18, and I was just ready to get out of there and be done with everything, and my parents stopped it. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Please be kind, or else I'll see you next Friday. I want a cool outro thing, but I don't really know what to do for it, so bye.